Now difference is very minor, that is of length. Clear? Any other doubt?
Not so, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. So now we will discuss what we will discuss in this project proposal. First, definition and purpose. Why do we write project proposal? Types of project proposals. Importance of research proposal. Now see, two terms have been included. Project proposals, research proposals. We will discuss. So I have switched from project proposal to research proposal. It is the same difference that we discussed in the beginning. Technical writing and academic writing. So what we are doing in the name of technical writing, we are not writing the technical things that are done by those who do it as a part of their profession, because I told you that the technical writer is a professional role. So we are not writing as a technically professional person, but we are writing as a part of our research, as a part of our academics. Clear? So second thing, here also same, we'll discuss structure of research proposal. Definition. Project proposals are written offers. They are written offers to solve a technical problem or to undertake a project of practical or theoretical nature. So first of all, they are written offers because they are a part of a written communication, technical communication. Project proposal are written offers. Why they are written? To solve a technical problem, particular technical problem. Problem here, topic. Problem here, research. The topic of the research. Clear? Problem stands for a topic. Problem stands for a research title. Or to undertake a project of a practical or theoretical. Have you understood the definition? Is it clear? Because these are very, very complex things. Technical writing itself is complex. Now purpose. There are four purposes. First, to explain objectives for undertaking a particular problem. To explain objectives. Objectives connotes what? What is the meaning of objectives? What you have to discuss here?
Ma'am, the goals of the your research papers.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Explain
You have to
objectives.
explain the goals. Yeah.
Yes, goal. To explain objectives for undertaking a particular problem. To present the methodology to be used in the project. Methodology means here method. Now what is the method? If I say that method of doing research, then what does it include? Methodology indicates what?
Procedure.
Procedure. Good, very good, Ayush. Procedure again, if we specify procedure, then it includes what? First of all, see, first criteria is that you can start a research when you can start research. Generally, the tendency of starting research in the third year, clear? Third year, masters, and as a part of your doctoral study. First criteria that you have to write a dissertation or a research paper or a research proposal or scientific report as a part of your final year study, masters, or a doctoral study. First thing. Now, this is first criteria. Second, now it's okay that you are in the final year. Now you have to write dissertation. You have to write scientific report. You have to write this. Now, the second thing what comes, what to write. Scientific report, research proposal, project proposal, dissertation, research paper. Second. Now, project proposal is part of everything. Third, SPED work. On which topic we will have a research paper or a dissertation or scientific report. So you have to do a SPED work for the topic. In order to do SPED work, what you have to do? Reading, visiting library, clear? Participating in conferences, brainstorming activities, so that you can find out a topic for research. So methodology includes what? First, criteria. Second, reading, visiting library, using reference material, using encyclopedias, etc., etc. The tools for study. Methodology means tools for doing research. Third, to present cost estimate and a schedule. Now, yes, cost estimate, it's not that every time in a project proposal you have to mention cost estimate. When you are doing for getting a degree, then no need to mention cost estimate. Yes, in a degree also, sometimes you mention cost estimate. Why? Any idea? Because you get a grant for doing a particular project from the university. Clear? So you have to just submit an estimate that if I will conduct research on this particular topic, financial estimate will be this. So on the basis of that, they will do R&D, and on the basis of that, grant will be given to researcher. Again, schedule, time limit. There is a time limit for research. 2 years. If it's a dissertation, less time. Thesis, more time. Research paper, again very less time. So time schedule is there. Fourth purpose is that to receive feedback, if any. Now, first thing I said that when you start, when you have to write a dissertation or a thesis or a research paper, first SPED work for the topic, SPED work for the guide. Clear? It's guide. Who will guide you? Then you have to discuss your topic, proposed topic with the guide. If he or she is interested in guiding you, then go ahead. Then go ahead means what it includes. Now start writing research proposal or a project proposal. When you write a project proposal or a research proposal, they arrange for a viva. In a viva, university team is there, R&D, it's called R&D team, and they take your interview, viva, that why you are interested in a particular subject. In that you have to brief about your objectives. In that you have to brief about your methodologies. They will also ask the valid reason for selecting a particular topic. Now, once you face this viva, then they give you a feedback in a written that whether you can continue a research work on a particular topic or not. Is the process clear to you? Is the process clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first receive a feedback. Feedback receiving from, first of all, guide. Again, internally you decide that this will be the guide and guide also agrees with you, but everything is done officially. Everything is done officially in a written form. You get that on this day you have become a student of so and so person, and you will continue your research on particular topic. So receiving a feedback, and after receiving a feedback, what? And get go ahead from the project stakeholders. Now project stakeholders indicate, in a business they indicate clients, in academics they indicate head or guide or the R&D team. Clear? So first of all, project proposals are written offers to solve a technical problem or to undertake a project of practical or theoretical in nature. The purpose of project proposals are to explain objectives for undertaking a particular problem, to present the methodology to be used in the project, to present cost estimate and schedule time limit, to receive feedback if any, and get go ahead from the project stakeholders. Any doubt in this topic? Now types of project
No, ma'am.
proposal. Yes, please. Any doubt? Types of project proposal. There are various types of project proposal. Any idea? First, one type is that project proposals are written in an organization in a companies also, before initiating a particular project, to get a go ahead from the stakeholders. So they are written in a companies, they are written in a business also, and they are a part of academics also. There are two basic types of project proposals: sales proposal or a business proposal. A business proposal is a document where a seller aims to persuade a prospective buyer into buying their goods or services. Sales proposal or a business proposal is a proposal in which the aim of salesman or a seller is to persuade a buyer so that they can buy goods or services. Second is research proposal. It is a written document that clearly states about intended research. And the methodology to be used to accomplish plan. Both these types of projects may be either solicited or unsolicited. What is solicited and unsolicited? Any idea? Have you ever come across these terms, solicited and unsolicited?
With consent and without consent.
With content.
Consent.
Okay. Content. No. We'll explain. Solicited proposal is submitted in response to a customer's need. When customer asks seller or a businessman that we are interested in a particular service or a goods, then they ask for that proposal. So when they are submitted in response to a customer need, they are called solicited proposal. It is submitted when customers ask verbally, or they may issue a written request for proposal. Acronym RFP. It's a very famous acronym. RFP means request for proposal. Unsolicited proposal is not submitted in response to a request for proposals. It is designed to advertise a particular product or idea. For example, if you are in need of a lab, then you write a proposal. Nobody has asked, but you write a proposal because you are in need of that lab. So that is unsolicited proposal. But if university asks you that if you require a lab, please write a proposal, and then you write, that is called a solicited proposal. Clear? Solicited proposal is submitted in response to a customer's need. Now, sales proposal and a research proposal both can be solicited or unsolicited. Always keep in mind that when they are submitted in response to a customer's need, they are solicited. When they are not submitted in response to a request for proposal, they are unsolicited. When a company prepares an unsolicited proposal, it needs to convince the reader that it understands the receiver's problem. Unsolicited proposals are very challenging because in that you are not asked, and then also you have to present. So when you have to present, it should be powerful enough to convince other. It should be persuasive in nature so that it can soon convince. They also get an idea that yes, this idea was not there in the list and it's good. So when a company prepares an unsolicited proposal, it needs to convince the reader that it understands the receiver's problem and it is qualified to solve the problem successfully. Clear? So project proposal, two types: sales proposal or a business proposal and a research proposal. Both these types of projects may be either solicited or unsolicited. Solicited are written in a response to customer need. Unsolicited are not submitted in response to a request for proposals. Any doubt? Is it true?
Does the same thing apply for unsolicited emails?
Unsolicited email? No, email. No, it's not applied for email. It's limited to proposal only.
Yes.
In email, there is not. Formal and informal email.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, so our focus is not a project proposal because we are not supposed to write a sales proposal or a business proposal. We are concerned only with the second, that is a research proposal. So now from project proposal, we will use the term research proposal. Clear? So our focus will be on research proposal. So first heading is a project proposal, but again in a project proposal, we are writing research proposal and not a sales proposal or a business proposal. So now we'll focus on research proposal. Research proposals are solicited when they are submitted in response to a request with specified requirement. As I gave you example, that lab, if university asks you that if you are in need of a lab, please write a proposal so we can grant it. So that is a solicited. Research proposals are unsolicited when they are submitted without prior request. Research proposal also include pre-proposal. Before writing a proposal, you write a proposal again. That is called a one small request. It's just kind of a request. And if they allow you, then you submit a proposal. Clear? So it also include pre-proposal, in which a letter of intent, your intention, or a brief abstract. Now abstract is always, you are supposed to write an abstract in research paper. Whenever you write a research paper, first thing you have to do that abstract. Even for a publication, when your paper is selected, first they ask you to submit an abstract. If they are interested in your abstract, then they ask you to submit the full length research paper. So first thing is to get accepted abstract. So it also include pre-proposal, in which a letter of intent or a brief abstract is submitted prior to submission of a full project proposal. Research proposals are written as part of the initial requirement of writing a dissertation, thesis, and research paper. Now question may be that, is it not required in a scientific report? Yes, if it's a lengthy, if it's a very long one, then it includes, otherwise not. Research proposal are always written as a pre-proposal or an initial requirement of a dissertation, thesis, or a research paper. Any doubt in this topic? Please, if you have. Okay, now importance of research proposal. Any idea why it is important? Why research proposals are important?
Ma'am, so that you get the funds to do the research.
You get?
Ma'am, basically the funding. If
Yes. Funding is there, but I told you that every time you do not get a financial assistance in that. Not necessary that every time you get a financial assistance. For example, if you write a research paper, then it gets published, but all the time you do not get a royalty.
Ma'am, to display our work.
Showcase your work.
Showcase work, okay. But work has not started, no? Work
Ma'am,
has
what
not
is the
started.
Ma'am, to get
Can
the
you please
feedback
repeat
from the
Yeah, pardon? Work has not started. You are supposed to start a work. So you
Ma'am,
are just taking a permission. This is official
yes,
permission.
But
to get
it
the feedback
includes the
from the
data.
stakeholders.
You can know about the relevance of your topic, whether it's relevant or irrelevant, first of all. And once you get a approval that your topic is relevant, it gives you a confidence. It gives confidence to a researcher that I got a approval from experienced persons, R&D team. They are highly experienced. They are subject experts. So when subject experts say that your topic is outstanding, you go ahead with that. It makes much. So first thing, confidence, relevance. Then we will discuss rest. Submitting research proposal has a number of advantages. First, it enables researcher to receive feedback Feedback and advice on the proposal. They also advise you regarding your topic, regarding your title. In a Viva, a very good discussion goes on. In a Viva, expert team, they are really a very expert and a reverend team. They advise you how to go ahead with your plan, and if you are supposed to make some changes in that, they also advise you. So first, feedback makes much, then advice. When you get advice, you get a clarity how to move forward. Clear? Feedback and advice gives you a clarity how to move forward. Second, it acts as a form of a quality check. You can get the certificate in written that whether your thoughts are qualitative or not. It acts as a form of a quality check and gives assurance to researcher that he or she is not embarking on an ill-advised project. Experienced researcher provides guidance on the ways in which the research design can be improved. So in a research proposal, you write that I'm going to study this topic, this title, and this will be the content. Now they will discuss everything one by one and they will give their suggestion. So after that, your plan will also change. The real research work starts after that, because before that you are completely novice about research. Clear? So experienced researcher provides guidance on the ways in which the research design can be improved. Their guidance help one to reflect on the proposal and to adapt and improve it wherever necessary. The whole process plays a very significant role in making one an experienced and autonomous research. So one thing is very clear, that after writing research proposal and after giving Viva, a student becomes an experienced and autonomous researcher. That you will experience on your own when you will start the process. You will get a particular type of confidence, and this confidence will generate new thoughts, original thoughts. It will remove that writer's block. Finally, the review process, because they give you review in a written form. Orally also discuss, and finally you get a review in a written form. So in that R&D team, your guide is also there, and other respected or experts, subject experts from other universities are also there. Finally, the review process helps one to give confidence in the knowledge that experienced supervisors have approved the research design. So this green signal plays a very significant role, because you get a green signal from an experienced supervisor. So you become more confident that your ideas are very qualitative, you have an original idea, and this confidence boosts more ideas. Is it clear to you? Any question?
it is necessary to have a guide while doing?
Why necessary? Please repeat.
To have a guide while doing a research.
Without guide, you cannot continue because this is a
It is
formal
necessary
process.
to have a guide while doing a research.
Yes, 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 yes. In a dissertation, while writing a for writing a research paper, no, guide is not required. For writing research paper, guide is not required. For writing dissertation or thesis, guide is required. Without guide, you cannot start. First is a sped work of a topic, sped work for a guide. If guide is interested, then the process starts ahead. Supervisor. Guide means supervisor. So without
Is it
supervisor,
really
how can?
necessary to have it?
Yeah.
Is it really necessary to have
Yes,
him?
it's really necessary. Otherwise, you are completely inexperienced. Here, when you begin your research, every person is inexperienced. They try to remove your writer's block. They give a particular push. They teach you the method of writing.
Okay,
We will
ma'am.
discuss why supervisor is necessary. That we will discuss. And what is the role of supervisor? That we will discuss next time.
Okay, ma'am.
Role of supervisor and role of student. Because if you refer a MLA or a APA, in that manual, the role of supervisor is there. And even research proposal, when you write, first name is there, researcher. And then in the research proposal, no name of a guide, but yes, it's mentioned to the R&D team that so and so person will guide you. It's already mentioned. And
Yes,
once you
ma'am.
receive a feedback officially, it's written that this student will continue his or her research on a particular topic under the guidance of so and so person. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Structure of research proposal. A research proposal is a highly persuasive communication which should be designed meticulously. The overall structure of a research proposal is given below. It contains three parts. First is a prefatory parts. Prefatory parts beginning. Research proposal first contains a title page. In a title page, on a title page, proposed title, not a final title. I am using the term proposed title because many amendments will be done by experts. So proposed title will be there. Under that title, name of a researcher is there, degree or a status of that researcher, whether a undergraduate student, postgraduate student, or a doctoral student. So title page, name of a researcher, and a table of content. Second, body of proposal. Body of proposal includes introduction. It includes problem statement. Now see, keep all these things at the tip of your tongue because after this our real exercise of writing research proposal will start. So at that time you have to keep this Bible in your hand or at the tip of your tongue that first is a preparatory parts, second is prefatory part contains title page and a table of content. Second is body of proposal. Body of proposal includes what? First, introduction. What will you write in introduction? That we will discuss. But first, I am just giving you the layout. First is introduction. Second is problem statement. What problem a researcher is going to discuss? That problem statement. Purpose. Purpose for discussing particular problem. Objectives, aims. Methodology. Methodology here includes ref books, original textbooks, reference books, encyclopedia, interviews, conference, everything is included. If you have taken interview of any experienced person or a scholar, you have to mention that, and you can just show a sample of that interview in that methodology. Then resources, cost and schedule. Clear? Third is a supplementary part. Contains a glossary. Glossary means explanation of a jargons that you used in your research proposal. And the reference book. Actual book that you have referred, not the secondary one that we already discussed last time. That actual book you have referred, that you have to cite in that. But research proposal contains a working bibliography, not a final bibliography. Research proposal contains a working bibliography, not a final bibliography, because your research has not started. Clear? Templates of research proposal may vary based on the context. Context to context, templates keep changing, but the content remain overall same. So ideal word limit. Now this is very, very important. Ideal, so when you will write research proposal, keep this limit in your mind. Ideal word limit for proposal is between 1,500 to 3,000 words as per MLA. Modern Language Association's style. Word limit for proposal is between 1,500 to 3,000 words. Clear? We will discuss every topic in a detail. Not this Thursday, because this Thursday we will do revision in the first part, and then we will have MCQ test. Is it clear? Any question? If you have, please ask.
How will today's lecture be part of the test?
Today's lecture?
Will it be the part of test?
It's
The
not
test.
a part. Earlier it was discussed that we will have a test on Monday, but then I discussed with all the CRs, and as per the suggestion, we thought that it's better to have on Thursday, because all students, it would be a hectic schedule for everyone. So by keeping that in mind, we have decided to do it on Thursday. So this lecture will not be covered in that. This lecture will not be covered in the test. Only 2 lectures that we discussed earlier, that will be covered. Clear? Because I will not forward this PPT to you, because it's not complete today. After completing the discussion of the entire chapter, we'll forward it to you in a Google Classroom. So we will just focus our test on 2 chapters that we have already discussed earlier. Not today's lecture will not be covered in the test. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So 10 questions, 10 marks. Each question will have a 1 mark. 10 questions, 10 marks. 10 questions will be from 2 chapters that we earlier discussed. Okay? Okay, good luck to all
Thanks, ma'am.
and see you on Thursday.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me check the chat.